and ready to go. This is the Wednesday, August 25th meeting of the Elder Care Committee. Gonna ask our council to call the roll.
How about it, Chairwoman? McLaughlin?
How's this better?
Yes.
Ricard?
Present.
Justin?
Here.
Chapman? Canisso?
Here.
Cunningham? Jamalowitz?
Here.
Curley, and Whalen. Here. 7 present, Madam Chairwoman.
Thank you very much. We have our quorum. We're gonna go ahead and ask our first order of business is approving our previous minutes. Can we get a motion? Motions by Canisso and approved, second by Destin, right? Okay, thank you.
New guy in the block.
All those in favor?
First week.
Thank you very much. All right, our next order of business is item number 2. Please read the title. It's amending resolution number 461 for 2019 regarding certified nursing assistant services. I almost reverted back to my common council days, so I'd say, clerk, please read the title. I think we have Mr. Canisso here regarding this particular item. Yes, sir.
Right, thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you to the members of the committee. First off, I would apologize. My boss is actually landing at the airport in a few minutes, so he wanted to be here, of course, but I'm here in his place. We have an amendment to our contract here with Clinical Staffing Resources. That's one of our staffing agencies that provides certified nursing assistants to us. We're right now, across the entire industry and across the entire market, there is significant challenges with getting the appropriate levels of staffing at all skilled nursing facilities, hospitals. I'm sure all the members of the committee have already heard about this. But we have an amendment here that would increase the rate we pay for CNAs. The objective being that we would then have more hours of nursing a day. Ultimately, with that additional hours of nursing here and this more competitive rate, that would put us in a position to, one, increase our census, which right now is over 200, and we've come back a far way since the worst part of the pandemic when the census really fell. And there's still a great level of demand for people to come to our facility, especially over the past several months as we've had visitation back. People are now seeing the facility. They're hearing about, the premier facility in the capital region, and thank you to the members of the legislature for making that investment in the nursing home. They're seeing that now, and there's demand there, but we need more staffing right now. And additionally, there's regulations that are scheduled to begin in 2022, which mandate a number of hours of nursing per resident day of 3.5 hours a day. So the amendment to this contract would increase the amount of money that we would have for the contract such that we would have a higher rate. And we think then that we would be able to attract more CNAs and ultimately have overall higher levels of, higher hours of nursing, that is. And that's part of a multifaceted effort. I mean, we're recruiting people, trying to hire full-time employees. That, of course, is objective number one. But this is a big part of it as well, to give us that flexibility with how will we ultimately get the number of hours of nursing that we want. So this would be an amendment through the end of 2022, and it would add $200,000 to the contract such that, again, we could achieve that level of staffing that we desire.
Yes, Mr. Demone.
Clinical Staffing Resource Corporation, do you know if they're paying nurse certified nurses assistants $15 an hour or more? Do you know what they pay them?
They're paying them $15 an hour, that's correct.
$15, okay, good, thank you.
Mr. Canisso, do you also see this as a means of making the nursing home more competitive? Because the market is, with the shortage, nurses can pretty much, and CNAs and all of them can pretty much go where they want to go. Would this make them more competitive, more competitive, and also incline people to stay longer?
Sure, and it is a very fluid market right now. People can leave skilled nursing, they can work in the hospital setting, they can work in home care. There's a number of options, and the current rate that we are paying through this contract is just not competitive right now. Over the past 2 years, since this contract was first negotiated, there has been a general, across the industry, increase in rates. That's reflected in the county's collective bargaining agreements, which is a good thing, but we also need to reflect that here with the nursing agencies that we work with as well, Clinical being the largest one that we have the most established relationship with.
Mr.
Just
Powell?
on that, the reason why we can't get anybody to work is because of the $300 that they're getting from the federal government for their unemployment insurance. A person making $15 an hour who is on unemployment with the unemployment insurance and the $300 a week that they're getting makes more money on unemployment. That's the problem. It's the $300 that they're stimulating through the economy because it doesn't make sense to work. You don't have to work. You make more money staying home. That's why we can't get nobody to work. And it's not just nurse CNNs. It's across the whole board. I don't care what industry you're in. You can't get any help. That's why.
Well, I think across the board, that's about to change too, because September is coming. And, you know, the clock's ticking on that. And so when the door does open, I do think it's important that you get what you pay for. And you certainly want to get the best in this type of industry, so.
And as we've recruited, I mean, we try to stress to people coming on that, yes, we have a competitive rate, that this is for our own employees. We have a competitive rate, but we try to emphasize to people, you have a great health care plan through Albany County, especially if you have dependents, and of course, being in the retirement system. When people are working in those other settings, they're really in a retirement product that doesn't compete at all with the New York State local retirement system, and I'm sure that their health care costs far exceed the very generous benefit that the county provides for the employees. So we try to stress that to people. We do have people coming on that are staying, but again, this is part of really a multifaceted effort to bring our staffing levels where we want them.
These people who work for the corporation don't get the benefits. They don't get the retirement benefit. We contract with the corporation to provide the people. They get whatever benefits that clinical staffing resources have.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, but it behooves people to, maybe we can poach a couple of these people that can work for us, because then they would probably get better benefits.
There's been a handful of instances where people have moved over from the agency side over to the
Sure.
actual employee side, and that's possible, but, we don't actively engage in poaching efforts per se. But there's been some instances of that where people have moved over to the other side.
Thank you,
Ms.
sir.
Whalen?
Is this budgetary increase coming from, or do you think it could be something that could be coming from the rescue relief money, the 60 million that we got? Or where are you getting
Well,
is this something you're going to try to tap into that?
we've made efforts to access monies from the Provider Relief Fund, and also from FEMA. We're preparing applications to FEMA as well. To be clear, this isn't asking for a budget amendment per se. This is all money that's already budgeted in the 2021 adopted budget. So the funds are already there. We've just reallocated funds within the existing nursing home budget. But we are actively looking at every funding source possible with the help of management and budget. And of course, we've already received significant funds from the Provider Relief Fund as well, which was welcomed over the past year and a half.
So when you reallocated, where did you reallocate it from? Could you just refresh my recollection?
We have a budget line for contracted services, which this would fall under. And we had adequate funding there such that we could afford to pursue this. Again, we don't know how much we will use of this. This is a maximum amount that we're asking for as an increase. But this gives us, again, that flexibility to really address the labor concerns that are there across the industry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Ricard?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a point of clarification, Mr. Basil. So it's budget neutral, and is this going to be, if this is for this year, what about next year and the year after, year after? How long is the term of the contract?
The contract was effective January 1, 2020.
Yeah.
It goes through 12/31/2022. So it's a 3-year contract. It would add $200,000 to that contract such that at this higher rate for the CNAs, if we had some significantly higher levels of success, we could then really utilize the CNAs from the agency. But this will just run through the end of 2022. This will be provided for, it's already provided for in the 2021 adopted budget, and it will be anticipated in our 2022 budget proposal.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So there's no increase for the current year.
That's my, yeah.
That's correct.
There's no increase in the current year. You're just taking from one account that we already budgeted for and applying it to this $200,000.
That's correct.
All right.
There's no other questions, can we get a motion?
Make a motion to accept it.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Ricard, second by Mr. Jamalowitz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, committee.
Thank you, Frank.
Our next item is amending resolution number 209 for 2021 regarding stimulus funding for the Title III-B Supportive Services Program. And we will look at items 3 through 7 together. Mr. Cano, you could just address all of those, because this is, we accepted the funding for all of these in a previous meeting, and now we're just changing the budget.
Yes,
To reflect
thank
these,
you,
so.
everybody. A funny thing happened the next day after I was here to ask you to accept all of this. New York State Office for Aging called a meeting of all the counties across the state after Legislator Whalen had said, there's no match. And I said, no, there's no match, because at that minute, at that day, at that time, there was no match. And then the next day, they called this meeting, and then there was a match. So all of these that are before you are all to bring it back to the contract, which originally had the matches to it.
So that's a good thing.
So we've already voted on all these,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but,
We're all set,
This is just to include the budget amendments.
just the budget.
yeah,
So,
Okay.
so we can accept the motion to approve 3 through 7. Mr. Ricard has a question in the meantime. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A couple questions, and they're all together, so I guess that was my first question. When did you find out? You say the day after.
The day after I was
Legislator
here.
Whalen asked the
Yeah.
question. Okay, so that was my first question. So, I guess what, 10%, but I noticed one of them was like 25%, right?
One of them is 25%, but it was always that way.
So if we add, which I didn't do, and I
That's a
apologize.
caregiver one.
If we added all these up, what is the total of all these matches per se?
The cost of the
Well-
county, is that the question?
You know what? I don't know. I can't answer that, but I could get you that answer.
Because I mean, we're-
But it's all the same. It's not anything that you weren't doing. It was what you were doing.
okay,
This is stimulus money.
okay. But we still gotta match that, and we gotta go with that money to match it, is that correct?
Yes, but everybody's gone back to their contracts now.
Okay.
So that would have been already built in there, isn't that correct?
So is that budget neutral? I guess we'll go back to the question we asked Mr. Camiso, is that budget neutral or not?
It is,
It
but
is.
basically what we're doing here is that we're accepting the stimulus money, and originally it was 100% federally funded, and then that following week, they changed it back to the original way that grant works, which is for our C1, C2 funding, it's 90/10, and then for our caregiver services, it's generally speaking 25/75. Now, when you're asking the amount of money, it would be 25, or it would be 10% of that amount
Okay,
that we're asking.
Right.
That we're asking to accept.
okay.
So you can pretty much do the math. It's my little cheat sheet. But you can pick, like that first one there is 348,000. So if we're paying 10%. we're paying
348,000 is what that award was.
Yeah,
So 10% of that is what the county would be, yeah.
So we're gonna give $30,000 to get 300,000.
yeah,
Not too hard to figure out, is it?
Yeah,
so,
Well, last month, we didn't.
No, I mean, we're not the only county that was in this situation. The next day when they called this meeting, we had found that more than half the counties across the state had already gone to their legislature and already gotten approved, and everybody was in the same, everybody was in the same boat. So that's where we're at.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we had a motion by
Are you
Mr.
looking to group
Ricard.
these?
Do you have another question?
Are you gonna group these, or?
Yes, we are, 3 to 7.
Group 3
We're
through
grouping
7?
those. So we're asking Mr. Ricard, he passed the motion, it was seconded by Mr. Demolowitz. And all those in favor? Aye, thank you very much. So now we're down to item number, okay, that was a motion to accept,
The group.
to approve. Now we.
Motion approved the group.
Okay. Motion to approve by Mr. Demolowitz, second by. Mr. Camiso, and now all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. Thank you. Item number 8, authorizing agreements with the New York State Office for the Aging and the Albany County Department of Social Services regarding the New York Connects COVID-19 Vaccine Access Supplemental Funding Program. Ms. Vitale.
Okay, so, with regard to this, originally, when we did this, the money was gonna go on to DSS. As you remember, last year, we did that, initiative for the flu, with the flu bag and things. This money could then be used to purchase the items that are gonna go in those bags, because now everything is about COVID. So everything that we've ordered to go in the bags has, states about getting the COVID shot, where you get it, all of that kind. So that money, we decided with DSS, we were gonna use to do that initiative, to be able to hand out those flu bags again, but with the COVID message. So that's what the change is on this. So the population will be getting those out probably in September, as soon as we can get the merchandise in.
So it'll be flu in.
It'll be
Flu and
flu in,
COVID-19.
but this money was really used to advance information about COVID. So there'll be COVID information inside of those bags as well. And, the masks and things that we ordered all talk about COVID, all state where you get that shot. Yes.
Ms. Whalen?
Oh, what about, someone told me recently that there's going to have to be a booster now too.
Yeah.
So you'll have information about that.
And we'll have information about that too. I mean, we're still waiting for, some marching orders from DOH regarding that. But I can tell you from the clinic that I ran all winter, that we have already received tons of calls, and there are several people who are really more than immunocompromised, really, really ill, that need to get the third shot now. And we've already arranged for folks to get that, so we'll be doing that again.
Now, will there be, you used the word, Ms. Whalen, that it's not mandated, people aren't going to be mandated to get the booster in our facilities, or the folks that you deal with. So it is still, if you want it or not. That's what we anticipate, correct?
That's the CDC thing. I don't know if they mandated it or not. I know that they've mandated the shot because they approved Pfizer, so they mandated it for kids to go to school.
Yeah, teachers and,
Yeah.
Or
And
testing
so,
once a week.
Well, we're getting a lot of calls from seniors who, because, as you get older, your immunity has changed to that. We had a gentleman who's 98, and he had his immunity tested before we tried to, find him a shot. He had none left, and we had vaccinated him in January. The second shot was in February, and he had none left. So we were able to get him a booster right away. He didn't become ill from it. He was quite well, but he was 98. So, we're going to be pushing for the boosters too.
yeah, because I have people already approaching me about the booster who got their second shot in January or February.
February.
And they're
yeah.
ready, they're waiting in line.
Are they gonna open it up to everybody, or?
Yeah, they'll open it up to, I'm sure they, right now, between now and September 20th, you have to be immunocompromised. I had a woman that came to us who had a double lung transplant. And, somebody like that needs to get on this like right away.
After
Somebody with
September
cancer.
20th, a guy like me could get a booster?
A guy like you could get it.
I got one.
You got the booster?
Got
Really?
CVS. My wife, I'm the caregiver, and she asked, yep, come on in, 15, 20 minutes.
And that makes great sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
She said, Walgreens says no, September, or 8 months after you got your first shot. I go to CVS just on a whim, yep, come on in.
You had to be 8 months though after,
Yeah, they said 8 months after your.
28 days.
28 days.
28
for your
days,
booster?
yeah.
If
Mine-
you're
If you're
immunocompromised.
I got mine in February.
Yeah, but if you're
But they
not,
said I had to be
it's 8
at least
months,
28
right?
days.
If you're not, it's 8 months. Yeah.
So you got a couple more days.
So my clinic, nothing that I'm doing is gonna happen before October 25th, because that's when I gave the second shot.
So you'll have all this information in these
Yep,
bags that you're,
yep, absolutely.
they're gonna.
Well,
they're
that's-
thicker,
Yeah.
right?
That's the last item on our agenda. Can I get a motion to,
Motion adjourned.
we approved it? Did we approved it or did we not? Oh, I'm sorry. That was a
Something
lot of good
more, I think.
discussion, so I thought we'd gone there.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve by Mr. Beston, second by Mr. Jamalowitz. All those in favor? Aye. All right, thank you very much.
Motion adjourned.
Motion to adjourn. Thank you.
Don't you need that for this last one?
Stay safe and stay cool.
Thank you.